Good morning, my tubies and my Teletubbies. This is Sheila Truelove, and today I want to talk about codependency. I know I'm so used to talking about narcissists, and considering we live in a very narcissistic world. But anyway, I want to talk about codependency. Is it love or is it codependency? And what caused me to bring up this topic is I've been looking at a lot of the court shows and a lot of telephone calls that I've received along with emails. And I've had so many, oh God, I've witnessed so many people taking so much abuse. And when you ask them, why is it that you put up with all of this abuse? And the number one thing they say is because I love this person or I love them. And I just had to try to help my tubies understand the difference between love and codependency. And the first thing that I want to talk about is anything you say, you can tell when it's codependency when anything you say does not matter to the other person, your needs are not being met, and you constantly compromise your boundaries and you're constantly compromising yourself. When you realize that your needs are not being met, and you are unhappy a great deal of the time, then you're not staying with that person because you love them. You are basically staying because of codependency. I've also been attending a lot of codependency self-help groups. They have a Codependent Anonymous. And I've been listening to so many of these people's testimonies and so many of these people's experiences, and how a lot of them, it's just unbelievable. It really is. I will leave some information with you, so in case you're struggling with codependency, you'll know where to go to get the needed help that you need. Now, number two, this is how you could tell, is it love or codependency? When you justify the person's poor behavior and you don't stand up for yourself, that is not love, that is codependency. Number three, when you start to lose contact with your friends and your family and you don't hang out with them as much, that's not healthy. That's very unhealthy, and that can lead to codependency because you start seeking everything from that one person. That your partner, whoever you're with, that you're putting up with, you start seeking their validation, your respect for yourself, and all of your love that you receive, you're expecting and seeking that from that one person. Having this person's love and approval, it starts to mean everything to you. Again, that is not love, my tubies, that is codependency. Number four, when you stop doing the things you love, including your own hobbies, because your partner may not take an interest in them, and you start to stop fulfilling yourself, and you expect for them to fix and satisfy most of your needs instead of you fixing yourself, that is not love. Codependency. That's screaming codependency all over it. Number five, when you start to ask permission, you're going to notice that you're constantly asking permission from your partner for almost everything you do, or you no longer want to leave your partner. You constantly want to stick up under them. You become like the Bobbsey twins. That's not healthy. That is not healthy. You have to have your own life as well. Again, not love. Number six, when you feel and you're more concerned with their pain more than you can feel your own, they don't care if you're hurting, but you don't want to rock the boat, so you don't stand up for yourself. And you no longer have boundaries. When you notice that you have no boundaries and you're taking on your partner's needs, their wants, problems, and most of the time you hardly ever focus on your problems, or you put their needs constantly before your own, that's not love. You need to stop taking on their problems and let them fix their own troubles. You have enough of your own. Number 7, when you know your boundaries, your standards, and the respect you have for yourself and your values are being pushed, and you tend to just stand back and not speak up for yourself and allow the situation to continue, and it's making you very unhappy, and you notice that your boundaries are being pushed, your self-respect is just non-existent almost. It's like you don't have a voice anymore, and you still choose to stay in that situation. That is not love. Again, that's codependency. Now, when you finally wake up and realize that you are codependent, you're going to need to get some help. Now, I have some suggestions to help you recover from codependency, because a lot of this codependency issues that people have, it's learned from childhood. This is childhood programming. Now, when I was younger, I used to be a codependent because of my upbringing as a Jehovah's Witness. I was taught to try to be as agreeable as possible, especially when it came to men. Women are supposed to be submissive and subservient, and we weren't treated with the same value as men, or as the brothers, as they say. But I'm so happy to say that I outgrew that in my mid to late 20s. The first thing you have to do is to stop denying the problem. You can never fix what you won't acknowledge. Secondly, I needed to learn how to negotiate relationships so that my needs as well as my partner's needs were being met. As long as his needs don't go against the scriptures, then we could definitely work through this and we can manage this. Thirdly, I had to educate myself so that I understood and learned skills to produce healthy relationships instead of being overly concerned with people pleasing, trying to do everything their way so I don't rock the boat. Even if it meant I have to walk on eggshells in my own home. Now, if both of our needs are not being met, then trust me, Tubies, I have no problem cutting people off. You should never fear taking care of yourself or fear that you will be abandoned if you stand up and speak up for yourself. This is not being selfish. This is called self-care. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've come across so many people, including family, actually especially family members, who are constantly seeking external validation. They're walking around wanting everyone to agree with them on damn near everything. When they're sad, when they're upset, when they're in pain, they want everyone to agree with them. They don't even realize how much other people's validation means to them. And that is not healthy. If you don't agree with these people, you don't agree with them, they feel like you're disrespecting them or that you're violating them. People are not always going to agree or see things your way. I have no problem with that. But a lot of people who are codependent and who have very low self-esteem. I want to put emphasis on that. People who have very low self-esteem. That's a huge problem for them when you don't agree with them. When you're not constantly validating them. Or when you're not constantly blowing smoke up their behind and constant praise. I tell you, it's exhausting. But those are people who have very codependent personality disorder. I've developed some very strong boundaries, and I don't need other people's validation to feel good about myself or not to feel like I'm invisible. I don't have this type of desperation or that desperate need for attention, or I've got to be seen. I don't have that. And I thank Jehovah. I have to give all praise to Yahweh and Jesus Christ for helping me to get past this early in my life. At the same time, I know there are so many people who are still struggling with this. That's why I'm making this video. There are a lot of people who feel that if they are not in a relationship or they don't have designer clothes or material things, they can't feel good about themselves. You have to have a healthy sense of who you are. Okay, Tubies? You have to have a healthy sense of yourself and realize that you deserve to be happy and loved just like any other human being. As long as you are making sure that you're not being selfish, because that's not what we want to do, you shouldn't feel bad about taking care of yourself. You should never feel bad about that. Wanting people to respect your boundaries, your values, and your morals is not selfish, it's self-care. Being afraid that someone is not going to talk to you, or that they're going to be angry at you, or they're going to abandon you, you know, that's got to stop. That has to stop. You have to ask yourself the next time you do something, like when you find yourself in the middle of doing something, you have to ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to? Or am I doing it for validation and acceptance? And if you can't do things from the heart or because you want to, then you need to address that, especially for a person who is working on codependency issues. It's okay to please your partner sometime. Don't get it twisted. Sometimes we all have to make allowances sometime. But make sure that they're doing the same for you. Are they willing to bend for you? You know? Make sure that they're doing the same for you, especially when it comes to your boundaries and your limitations. Are they respecting that? Now, when you finally wake up, and when you wake up better yet, and you realize that you are more codependent than love, what I've been doing is, like I said, I've been dealing with a lot of codependency groups on Zoom. I've been attending a lot of them, and it's not for me because I feel that I don't have a codependency personality. I don't. Like I said, I outgrew that in my mid to late 20s. But I attend these codependency meetings. Better yet, when you wake up and you realize that you're codependent, then you need to get yourself some help. And what I recommend very highly is for you to attend meetings at coda.org. That's CODA.org. They have Zoom meetings, telephone meetings, and face-to-face meetings. And guess what, Tubies? This is the part you're going to love. All for free. It's all free. I go online regularly so that way I can stay current. And I can stay current with the codependency and see how it's affecting so many people and how these people are breaking this codependency demon that has had a hold on them for years. That's the reason why I attend these Zoom codependency meetings. You know, I listen to these people, and I listen to so many people saying that they are in relationships because they are codependent. Some people say they don't have children or they don't have family, so they've been in relationships. Listen to this. 12 years, 20 years, 30 years, where these people stayed in these abusive relationships where they were not happy, their needs were not being met because they were very codependent. And now that we have all of these groups, or we have all of this help that's available today, that's what helped to wake these people up. And now a lot of them have left these codependency relationships, and they're learning how to love themselves. They're learning how to stand on their own. They're learning how to have a backbone. And they're learning to, be single again. Being single is way better than being abused and having to put up with bad behavior and being disrespected. You notice I have a picture here of New York City downtown, and the reason I chose this picture is because, honey, if you have a codependency personality and you have a very weak personality living in the city, they will eat you alive. You have got to develop a backbone. You have got to make people respect your boundaries, your standards, your values, and your morals. Because if you don't, good good luck, good luck, good luck, you know? So they have codependent anonymous groups. Like I said, go to coda.org, CODA.org. Um, and please get the help that you need. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not selfish. That's loving. You can't ever love anyone, never, until you learn to love yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And it's kind of hard, when you're dealing with family, because you put up with a lot of crap from family because they're family, and I put up with a lot of crap when it comes to dealing with my family members. Oh, Yahweh, Jesus Christ knows, Lord knows. I have bent over backwards trying to change this, change that, trying to make adjustments. But when I notice that I'm the only one doing all the changing and doing all the work, guess what Sheila True Love does? Family or no family, I have to fall back. I have to fall back because I'm not going to keep doing all the work and nobody else is putting in any of the work. I'm making all the adjustments, all the changes, and they're doing nothing. And I'm tired of it. I got tired of it. But anyway, Tubies, I just wanted to share this with you because I realize that a lot of this, the codependency issues, it's learned from your childhood, childhood programming, and you have to take care of that. You really do. Anyway, this is Sheila True Love, truly loving you. That's why I do what I do, because I love you so much. Please learn to love yourself as well. Until next time, I'll see you on the other side. Goodbye for now.